This is the Weekly Scramble, a place where we chat about life over a cold one or two. It's time to belly up to the pod with Mike Fratelloni and your host, Chris Reavers.
That's right. It's time for the Weekly Scramble podcast. My name is Chris Reavers. With me, as always, his name is Mike Fratelloni. Hello, Michael.
How you doing, Reavers?
I'm okay. I'm doing good. Hanging in there. You know, it's always busy here in the GL Podcast Studios. But I got to tell you, you were subjected to a conversation we were just having with Pat Garofalo, who filled in nicely for Joe Souchery. Here's what I like about when Pat fills in. He's a really, really smart guy. Kind of gives us a different perspective about all things, especially political. But he's also a business guy. He has a very big business background and whatnot. And a couple of things that he was referencing was obviously tied to the state of Minnesota, the economic impact of certain things. And then you brought up something interesting about the current mayoral race. And I did not know this. The entire aspect of what, help me, Jacob Fry talking about the Somali Mall.
Sure.
And I had heard about it, but I didn't really realize what type of an impact that had, that he felt the need that this is obviously part of what he has to talk about with his campaign to be reelected for the mayor of Minneapolis.
Yeah, if you don't know the video Reavers is referring to, it's Mayor Fry walking through a Somali mall, like a cultural mall. I don't know what the mall is called. I think it's called Colonel Mall. I'm not sure of that name.
Where's the location?
In Minneapolis. And he says this mall rivals the Mall of America. And he did preface that with, I know I'm jaded because I'm the mayor of Minneapolis. The MOA is not in Minneapolis, but I think this mall rivals the Mall of America. Then he proceeds to walk through the mall with a bunch of dudes there, and they're all getting haircuts, and they're just walking around. And the mall is cultural and cool. Doesn't rival the Mall of America, but I get that he had to say that because he's in the Somali Mall in Minneapolis. And what does he need from those people?
Their votes.
Their votes.
Yeah.
And you were talking to Garofalo about why is Mayor Fry doing this? Why is he giving speeches in Somalian? Somali, not Somalian, Somali.
Well, again, I'm not oblivious to the fact, you know, I've worked in the city of Minneapolis for 20, let's just call it 25 years, just shy of 25 years. I've been here at Hubbard Broadcasting for nearly 18 of those years. And for better, for worse, whatever you'd like to say, there has been a significant change in the culture of the city. And I'm not calling out one specific demographic by any means, but it's fairly noticeable. And with that change has come either positive or negative effects. And again, he made a great point, and he did say this off the air. What we need in this country is we do need immigration. That's what made this country the greatest country in the free world. But what we also need in some cases is assimilation.
Sure.
Because without that, you have a problem on your hands. And I guess that's the fine line I'm choosing to walk, because I do think that many people that have come to the state of Minnesota and have been contributing members of society, have wanted great education for their kids, have wanted to, whether it's start a business, get a great career, or just an opportunity. That's great.
Sure.
That's what makes this a great place to live. I've lived here my entire life. The problem is, if you're going to sit back and you're going to be quote unquote ripe for the picking, I think that's what's causing a problem on our hands.
Well,
in some cases.
let me fix immigration for you in 1 second. I can literally fix it for you and Pat.
All right.
Immigration's totally fine. Assimilation is total BS. They don't have to assimilate all they want. They don't have to assimilate at all. But what happens in many countries is you're free to immigrate for jobs. You're not free to immigrate for benefits. So if everybody that came here didn't get anything from the federal government and had to work, you know what happens when you have to find a job because you're starving to death? You learn how to say, hello, sir, my name is Mike.
Sure.
And you start to assimilate because 9 of the 10 guys you work with speak English.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, shoot, if I want to live in America and be part of the land of the free and the home of the brave, I have to learn the culture because I'm going to starve to freaking death if I don't. In years past, that's how it worked. It wasn't that many years ago that I had a girlfriend who was from Germany, right? And she came here.
Wait, is this the joke?
No, this is a true thing. I had a girlfriend, and she came to America, and I had to sponsor her in financially. They said she gets nothing. She gets nothing from America. You have to sponsor her completely financially. So if she breaks her leg, you got to pay for it, right? Or she does. If she can't pay for it, you have to pay for it. Now it's different. People come here and they instantly reap the benefits of being an American. They don't
without investing,
without working, right?
Yeah.
And do immigrants work? Hell yes, they do. Hell yes, they do. Do a whole bunch of them get benefits? Yes, they do. That makes people. Garofalo, when we were talking, had kind of a doom and gloom on America, right? Off air, he was talking a little doom and gloom.
Hi, my name is Chris.
Yeah, you had a little bit of doom and gloom too. We're not at the doom and gloom. We're not at the doom and gloom. When someone can come to America and they're an immigrant and they haven't started working yet and they still have a cell phone. When someone can come to America and they're an immigrant and they're morbidly obese, how is that? That's not rock bottom. We'll know we hit rock bottom when people start getting skinny, like what happened in Venezuela. When cell phones are shut off and you don't have a cell phone anymore because you can't afford the $100 a month payment, right? That's a different rock bottom. We're not at that precipice today. I really don't believe so.
Okay, well that is an optimistic view.
I mean, isn't that fair to say?
Yeah, it is.
I'd take all the immigration that people wanted to do. You want to come here and work and not get benefits? Go for it.
Can we? Okay, I'm going to agree and somewhat disagree with you because there was a number he gave me and the entire Garage Logic crew that absolutely blew my mind. And one of his big things when he was still in office was he was always talking about mass migration and how that's a real significant problem. And those that pushed up against it that would say, well, that's, you're focusing too much on the wealthy 10%. Well, the problem by saying something like that, or if that's your response to what is a significant problem, the fact that someone wealthy, well, the top 1% of people, not only in this state, but in this country, pay 90% of the taxes.
Yeah.
And so if those people start to say, well, this isn't financially feasible for me or my business anymore, that dollar then is going to get passed down to the likes of us. And so that's why
the burden of that dollar.
The burden of that dollar. Thank you very much. The burden of that dollar is then going to get passed down to us. And so I look at things, whether it's property taxes that continue to go up, and I'm not trying to play Joe Souchere right now, but there's a number I want to get to that he shared with us. He basically said in one calendar year recently, I can't remember if he said 23 or 24, so I'm sorry, but he said in one calendar year, this is IRS data. This is not some politician that's pulling numbers out of thin air.
Data, yeah.
But he basically said in one calendar year, the amount of money that left this state against the amount of money that came into this state was $2 billion.
Yes. Yep.
That number needs to get made up somehow because this just in, state budgets and local budgets have been set. So those numbers need to be accounted for somehow.
You notice how the richest Minnesotans that we all know their names, you know where they never die, Reavers?
Minnesota.
They never die in Minnesota because it's too expensive to die in Minnesota.
Yep.
I looked up real quickly while you were talking, Milton Friedman's view of, fantastic economist, Milton Friedman, notable, maybe one of the world's most famous economists. And he was talking about immigration. And he said illegal immigration for America is fantastic because they derive no welfare, no benefits whatsoever. They pay into the tax system, but they don't get any benefit out. That's illegal immigration. He said the problem is when we have legal immigration and they're instantly allowed all the benefits and welfare of the United States. And he says that's just not sustainable. That's just not sustainable. So
Right.
I know it sounds strange to say, hey, illegal immigration is kind of good, right? But it kind of is for the GDP of America because we're not paying out benefits to those that are illegal.
But if you continue to substitute the people, let's just say the likes of you and me, we grew up here, we were raised here, we've lived here our entire lives. If you start to then replace those that made a living for themselves, perhaps created a good business that created jobs and provided sustainable resources and whatever else for the state, if you start to replace those people with those that continue to come here that are just looking with their hand out, that aren't going to try to contribute in the same way, we can't maintain this. We just simply can't.
I get it. So I think we're going to have a canary in the coal mine situation in New York. When Mondami becomes the mayor of New York City and more people start leaving New York because they don't want to mess with socialist politicians, and they say, hey, I'm not going to take an extra city tax of another 5% on my wealth. I'm just not going to do it. there's conflicting stories about how much money is leaving New York. The problem is it's still New York. It's still the financial capital of the world. But we're going to have a total stated socialist, almost communist guy who's never really had much of a real job. He's going to become the mayor of the most important city in the world, Reavers, the financial capital of the world. And that's really going to be much more of a test than if Omar Fateh becomes mayor of Minneapolis.
He went viral over the past weekend. I'm talking about Mom Donnie, because there's been this hue and cry about ICE operating in some of the larger cities, including New York.
Sure.
And basically said that he will devote $100 million of New York taxpayer money for legal fees to help protect illegal aliens.
Generous.
In the city of New York. And I'm thinking, well, that's gonna gain you notoriety with the left leaning voter, but how is that in any way going to benefit your city long term? And the answer is it's not going to.
No, again, he said illegal immigrants. They actually need illegal immigrants in New York. They need someone to do jobs in New York. And I'm not saying illegal immigrants could come here and do the jobs of slaves. That's not. I have this really neat thing that I'm doing with my friends where they say things like, well, who's going to pull your vegetables out of the ground? And how are you going to get lettuce and tomatoes? And then I ask them, oh, yeah, who's going to pick my cotton? And the moment you make it sound like slavery, which it totally, completely is, when you're asking someone to come to America and work for less than federal minimum wage, you are asking to have slaves in this nation, right? And everyone says, well, how are you going to get a grapefruit? They never want to say, oh, who's going to pick the cotton? Because that's a direct link to slavery, right? But Mandami's kind of right. They need illegal immigrants in New York because people won't do the work in New York if they're legal. They won't do it, right?
What do you feel, as long as we're down this road before we switch gears here, but what do you feel, or do you feel at all, that we are either on the precipice or have reached a tipping point?
I don't think we're on the precipice.
You don't?
No. I think life is so fat and happy in America. I'm pissed. Let me say why I'm pissed. I got a little bit of a cold, maybe a fever. Remember when that guy ate the pizza?
Vikings just lost.
The Vikings lost when Tom Cruise ate the pizza, and then he writes that thing, and then the girl says, "Who's with me?" And you had me at hello.
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire. I'm at that point because I think I have a little bit of a fever. My whole point is we are fat, happy, and lazy in this. We were just talking about how the social dilemma of social networking are just putting people into a trance. People are spending 5 hours a day on the cell phone. I am doing it.
Can I help you?
Yeah.
It's the theory of, the analogy of, you can either use good men or good times. Good times create weak men.
Exactly.
Good times create weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men.
Yeah.
Strong men create...
It's the circle.
Yeah, it's the circle.
We are in the fat and happy culture. And if you don't think I'm right, and go on social media for 10 minutes and see the fat and happy culture not working, right?
Yeah.
People are not working. If you have to work to survive, 1, you get the pride of working, right? 2, you actually do something. You don't have the time to sit on social media all day. But you know what I want to hear about?
What?
Probably We Are Nuts. I mean, that seems like a right time to talk about We Are Nuts.
Oh my God!
Those guys work. The We Are Nuts family works.
They work their nuts off
Yes.
at We Are Nuts. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the last day that you can take advantage of the fantastic sale going on right now at all Kowalski's Markets and also Lunds and Barley's. 25% off of all of the We Are Nuts products going on right now through the end of the month of September. I cannot believe tomorrow is October 1st already. But anyway, they got those cool displays there at all those locations, just like they do at the Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores locations, by the way. But it's wonderful snacks and a great family-run business right here out of the great state of Minnesota. But right now, you should also make note, for you people that buy gifts for your staff and all of your employees, They make these wonderful, wonderful holiday tins that are available at wearenutsmn.com. They're beautiful. They're fantastic. And I'm thinking about just ordering a case of those for myself, by the way.
That would be cool.
It's a little gift to myself, but they do a lot of business like that for all of you corporations and businesses out there. So make sure you get your order in right now because, like I said, it's tough to think about since it's going to be 90 freaking degrees on Friday. But yes, you need to start thinking about that holiday buying season. So find that online at wearenutsmn.com, the Weekly Scramble. So the announcement was made on Sunday. I don't remember at what portion of the day, but the Super Bowl halftime announcement had come in, Michael. And the one, the only, Bad Bunny was announced that he
Are you
is going to
excited
be
about that?
I can't tell you that I don't remember the last time I even gave a damn who did this halftime for the Super Bowl.
What about last year?
Remind me.
I'm not even going to. Are you kidding me?
I don't remember.
I'm not even going to tell you. I'm going to let you come up with it on your own.
Was it Rihanna?
No.
No, that was a couple years
Don't you remember
ago.
he rapped and he walked and he had girl jeans on? And then he made fun of Drake for being a pedophile.
Oh, that Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, that was okay.
Was it?
I will say the Super Bowl that was in LA a couple of years ago, that was Dr. Dre, Eminem, and
I like
Snoop
that
Dogg.
one.
That was pretty cool. I do think the one that really kicked off all of this where a legit, like, big time performer was the 2001 Super Bowl that U2 did, obviously after 9/11. The Patriots were the underdog team in that game and ultimately ended up winning. And when they're doing when they were doing Beautiful Day, that was pretty cool.
It was
a
big
symbolic
fan of
moment,
U2.
and I believe it was in New Orleans. That was pretty freaking cool. And then when they read off the list of all the people that unfortunately passed away from the result of the terror attacks on the Twin Towers of 9/11, that was pretty moving. But I got to be honest, I've never, Justin Timberlake ripping off the thing from Janet Jackson. Okay,
That was the best one.
it
by
was kind of
far.
cool, whatever, because at the time I'm in my 20s, but I don't care.
I'll never
and
forget
I know,
that one.
And I know the Super Bowl halftime, it's the NFL offices going into their trenches and saying, okay,
do we
I
got?
get it. I understand that this is geared towards bringing in another 5 to 10 million people that are going to watch the product that don't give a damn about the game. I get all of that. I just don't care.
So,
And I know he's a big deal. I
do you know
completely get he's a
who,
big deal.
Bad Bunny is?
I know who he is. I've probably heard a song or two of his over the course of time, but I don't really know much else about him.
Can I fill you in on a couple details?
Sure.
Bad Bunny is a Puerto Rican rapper. Let me say Puerto Rican rapper and singer. He's 31 years old, born in 1984. He's 5'11". But what's interesting about Bad Bunny, remember the new version of Happy Gilmore 2?
I have not seen it yet.
He is the caddy
Oh,
he plays the caddy in it.
All right.
Handsome kid. He's probably a real talented kid. I'm going to ask you if you know any of his top songs. Let me read some for you.
all right.
Titi mi pregunta.
Oh yeah, it's my ringtone.
I don't read Spanish very well, so help me if I don't. Mi porto bonita. Mi porto bonito. Excuse me, because I made it. God, I hope these aren't swear words. Right?
It's Spanish. You're
Okay.
fine.
Am I? Dakiti. Dakiti.
Oh, I don't think you should have
Featuring
said that.
Yal Cortez.
Oh,
Kalata. Featuring Taney. Hold on. I got a couple more. Mia or MIA, can't tell, featuring Drake. That's got to be a big one. I don't know any of these songs.
right.
I've never heard any of these songs. Here's my prediction. You ready? He's going to kill it.
Yeah, probably.
I think he's going to absolutely kill it.
And I should preface this by saying I understand he's a massive deal. Like this, and I get it. He's got a huge following. He's world renowned. Like I get all of that. I'm just saying I don't know jack S about him.
Well, now you do.
Sure.
Benito Antonio Martinez Asquio.
Can I also
is his name.
So the other thing that had kind of surfaced was the fact that he was very outspoken about the current sitting president and how he had canceled his remaining tour in the United States because he was fearful that ICE would deport him. To which I want to say, Mr. Bunny or Bad or whatever you want me to call you, I got news for you. you are here in a tour. You most likely have a visa to be in this country. No one's going to deport you because you're contributing to that local economy. There's no ICE agents.
Okay.
You're going to be just fine.
Okay.
But that was showboating, and that to me was self-appointed propaganda, to which that immediately say, okay, I know what I'm dealing with.
Still think he's going to be great. I really do think he's going to be great.
I don't doubt that.
He specializes in something called trap rap.
What's that?
Trap music is a subgenre. FYI, folks, if you're not watching this, if you're watching us on YouTube, you see me reading this because I didn't know what trap music was before.
Sure.
But it's a subgenre of Southern hip hop characterized by its heavy use of the Roland TR-808 drum machine, triplet hi-hats, slow, booming bass drums, snare drum, and a dark and eerie synth sound. So that sounds like something like this.
It's EDM, basically.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Did that sound good?
Sure.
Because that was the most musical I've ever been on the radio in my entire life.
Okay, I'll give it to you this way.
Okay.
So I worked at a upscale downtown nightclub /
You keep saying that. Why don't you just say the name of it? Who cares?
That's true. I was at the Exchange nightclub.
Which is kind of cool, actually.
It was cool.
You know what? That actually gives you cred that you say that. Because that club had chicks that took pictures there because they wanted to be there. Remember that step and repeat they had?
I'll say.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah, it was the hottest club in Minneapolis for 5 years.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
you worked
I
there.
absolutely enjoyed it. Everyone I worked with there was wonderful. I was kind of like Uncle Chris.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe
everyone
he
else
can help us with our 401k.
Well, honest to God, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
That's what that job turned into.
Yeah,
I'd say,
yeah.
why are you spending $1,000 a month on this, that, and
Sure,
whatever?
yeah.
I said, invest in yourself. Like, oh, you're like a dad. I go, well, that's great. Anyway, but that's basically
You weren't there for that.
No, and I was there to make money. I was there to get my ass home, and I was there to anyway. Point being, I remember the first time because I listen to. It's not that I don't listen to modern music,
Sure.
but I'm more of a Chris Stapleton. I'm more of a that's my jam. Yeah. KS90, whatever's KS95 is playing.
Yep.
But I remember we had an EDM night, and we were told about this. We were selling tickets for it, and this is probably 2016.
Is that electronic dance music, EDM?
Correct.
Is that what
Yeah.
that stands
So
for?
I remember they were saying, and they were having some EDM performer come in.
Okay.
And I had no idea how big this was going to be, right? I'm just like, oh, okay. So they said, hey, normally, we open at 10, but tonight we're opening at 9, so you guys have a chance to get set up a little bit earlier, blah, 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 blah. And I remember thinking, oh, okay. And then this girl I was working with, and I won't use her name because once in a while she listens to the show, and she said, Reavers, you don't understand how big of a deal this is. I go, well, I'm not going to not work as hard as I normally do. She's like, no, it's going to be insane in here. And I went, oh, all right, cool. No, you don't understand. It's going to be wall-to-wall people because it wasn't a big place.
Sure.
But if it was packed, it was busier
It
than
felt
ghetto.
cool, yeah,
Anyway.
yeah.
And so that was the first exposure that I had to a legit EDM show. And I can't tell you, after about 45 minutes, I had to put earplugs in because it was so annoying. But it's just constant. And again, made a lot of money that night. Not complaining about that whatsoever. But it was, again, I'm old guy working at the nightclub. I completely get that. But I just remember thinking, how is this in any way enjoyable for anybody? And these were people that paid to
get
be
in.
there
Do you
just to
remember
get
who it
in.
was?
I don't off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Can I
It
ask
wasn't
you-
Bad Bunny. I can tell you that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you miss that at all? Like, is there any part of you? I know you wouldn't miss being downtown. I get that, but I bet you some nights you made $500 in tips. Really? Yeah. Okay. Sometimes even better than that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was a very. It was like Studio 54 in Minneapolis. I know they're two different things, but it was the hottest nightclub in Minneapolis.
I will say this. Do I miss the social aspect? I do in chunks.
Okay.
Because you got to keep in mind, like, it's fun. Like, the first couple hours are great because it's like, oh, I'm out, but I'm not really boozing.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm part of the vibe, but I'm working.
Yeah.
And so that part of it, yes, I did enjoy. The social aspect of it was great, but do I miss getting home at 4:30 in the morning? God, no, I don't miss that at all.
Yeah, that'd be
Do I miss the money? Hey, yeah, I sure do. But no, the other parts of it, not really. And it's not even that it's downtown, because I used to love being downtown on the weekends. It was fun.
The reason why I ask is my wife was a bartender, right? So she was a bartender for years, like right after college and just kind of in college and right after college. And I think to this day, that was her favorite job. She loved the hustle and bustle of being, and she was a resort bartender, right? She was up north at a resort. And she said she just loved it. You'd blink and your shift was over.
Well, she's 100% correct. And I will say this part of it too. And I've said this probably 100 times on our shows. But I will say, I think it's imperative that every single person, no matter what walk of life you plan on going and pursuing in long term, every single person should work in the service industry, because it teaches you how to face pressure, how to relate to every single different personality type, how to work under all sorts of different circumstances. And also, you're on your own. It's a survival tactic that I think everyone deserves to learn and to perfect in a lot of cases. I
always worry about having an upset stomach. What if you had Taco Tuesday and you're the bartender at a club like that, and you're like, excuse me, I need 15 minutes to take care of this. There are no 15-minute chunks.
No.
Right?
No.
And I always wondered about that, people who are on TV for like an hour-long show. What happens? What happens if that Chipotle they just ate sitting sideways because they had too much cheese and sour cream?
This is why anybody in the biz will tell you that you never eat anything that you know your body can't withstand for at least a couple of hours.
Okay. All right.
And I never ate before a shift. Now, when shift is over, it's go time. If it's Pizza Luce, if it's whatever.
Remember the fun times going to Pizza Luce?
Remember the fun times of just not being old? Yes, I do. Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
I wonder right now, I'm 54, you're younger than me. I wonder if we went out, would I make it to 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, which I did a lot. And then would I want to go to Pizza Luce, or would I say, this looks sketchy here, I don't want to do this anymore? I mean, because they have Pizza Luces in Roseville that are safe. I can just go to that one.
Can I help you answer that?
Yeah.
At least I'll speak for myself.
Pizza Luce.
You're in a lot better shape than I am, but I'm working on it. Awaken180weightloss.com. I can help you answer that. So 2 Fridays ago, I was invited to go to a grand opening at a place.
Okay.
Well, you know what? No, it wasn't really a grand opening. It was the brand new restaurant / not nightclub, but going out spot at Canterbury Park.
Okay, I heard that place is crazy.
It's awesome. Right. It's such a cool spot.
Did they advertise with us?
No, but they should.
Yeah.
In fact, what is the name of it? I got their thing.
Yeah, hold on, because that seems like something that we could have a frat pack event at or something.
No,
fun.
it's Boardwalk Kitchen and Bar in Shakopee. It's literally on the first turn of Canterbury Park. It's such a cool spot.
Okay.
So I was there with some friends who I oddly enough used to work with. And I remember it was, we're going to meet at 9. I'm going,
9?
9? What?
Yeah.
And so we met up, and it was great. It was almost like a class reunion, right? And it's so cool. I can't even imagine being there during a race when you hear the horses just thundering by and stuff.
And then the gun just when they have to pull one
No,
down.
don't say that.
Happens all the time.
But they had, the baseball games on, and it's just and they had a live band playing. It was so cool, and the place was packed. And I was there for probably an hour, or I was there for what felt like a while.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh man, I'm just getting kind of tired. Like, it's 10:15.
Yeah.
I went, oh dear God,
Times have changed.
You guys are going to stay out all night? Not a chance in hell. I got to be at football at 8 o'clock in the morning or whatever it is.
Infinitely more likely to wake up before 2 a.m. than stay out till after 2 a.m.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I'm way more likely to be like, okay, well, I slept till 1:50. I am now up. Well, Bad Bunny headlining the Super Bowl number 60. Is it 60?
I think it is. You're right.
Super Bowl 60. That's cool. My prediction, and we'll go back to this, I think he's going to absolutely kill it because I think he has the right attitude. I think he's going to be great.
Okay.
What do you think? Now, switching topics, or do we have to go to a spot?
Yeah, I do need to do a spot, but go ahead.
Don't mail this one in.
Okay.
Do a really, really great job because our advertisers deserve it.
You're right.
Which one is this for?
This is for North American
It doesn't
Banking
matter.
Company.
Those guys are great. They won't care. They won't care what you do.
It's banking done differently with our friends at North American Banking Company. And you know what? They've had that philosophy since way back when. It was 1998 when they first opened North American Banking Company. And they had one simple philosophy, and that was this. It's banking done differently. And you get that feeling anytime that you walk into any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations, whether it's Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. They do offer all of the services as the other big national banks. Whether you're looking to buy a home, perhaps finance a new home renovation project, or get that new car that you've been dreaming about, my friends can make all of that happen. But your first step should be this. Check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. Also, locally owned and operated. Here's why that's important. That means loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities. They are not sent out of state. So this helps all of you business owners solve problems quickly and expand your business with confidence. They deal with numbers every single day, but you are never one of them. So once again, check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. The Weekly Scramble. We will be right back.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You ready?
That was nice.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
I saw something earlier today, and I got to tell you, I can't wait to give this, because Joe wasn't working today.
Sure.
I can't wait to unveil this number on Joe tomorrow on
Really?
Garage Logic.
I'm excited to hear this.
You have 3 beautiful daughters.
I do.
And I imagine they spend a lot of time on social media.
That's all they do.
I'm older than them, and I spend quite a bit of time on social media, somewhat reluctantly. It is now confirmed that the average, let me start over. Between the ages of, I think it was 18 and 30, 25% of that demographic gets all of their news and information from TikTok.
I believe it. Let me ask you, how many other news sources do you get your news from? And you're in the news and entertainment business.
Yeah.
How much do you get outside of Twitter? Because I know you might read something on Twitter and then go to the computer and learn more about it, but I bet you the genesis of most of the stories you pick up are Twitter related. To be fair, right? It's a pretty big chunk of your time.
I'll try to answer this honestly. I get up, I do doom scroll for maybe a couple minutes, get the kiddos up, get them fed. Let's joke about this, that, and the other thing. I'll pull up my computer, start going to the the normal conventional sites, the Star Tribunes, the whatnots. Yeah, you know what?
It's a pretty big
Probably
chunk.
15%.
Yeah. Oh, that's
of my
it?
news.
That's it?
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
20.
All right.
Maybe 20.
Mine's way higher than that.
Really?
Oh my God! It will be the genesis. I'll hear the story.
But let me rephrase this
Yes.
though. I'm saying that's the 25%. That's the sole place where they get their news.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I didn't phrase that correctly.
Sure. I think that's so. They're just seeing a 20-second clip on Gaza, and that's the news they got about Gaza.
Of that 25%, that's the only place they get news.
Now, my kids, who I have an 18-year-old, 17-year-old, and a 15-year-old. Rivers, they're not watching any TV. We put a TV in this girl's dorm room, right? Our daughter's dorm room, not this girl.
Hasn't been turned on yet?
Honest to God, why would they turn it on? They're like, I don't know, somebody has to plug in their Netflix into or something. They don't even know this 4, 5, 9, and 11 are not even a thing for them.
Right.
If I went and asked my daughters, what are the Twin Cities local television stations, they would have no concept of what I'm talking about.
Really?
Why would they?
That's true.
They would have no concept of that Fox News or Fox has the Vikings games. They would not get that.
But they watch the game.
They
maybe?
might, but they would much more watch highlights on TikTok.
And you know what? It's interesting that you say that, because the other day I have, you know what? This might be worthy of a further discussion, because I read a very startling piece about kids and screen time, because I have a 10-year-old that I'm starting to get a little concerned about with the screen time, right? So I've been starting to do a little bit more research and whatnot. And he doesn't like sitting down to watch games. I said, buddy, he will watch a baseball game with me because that's his favorite sport. He loves baseball.
The kid's a freaking saint. He's 10 years old. If he can sit his ass down and watch a baseball game, don't worry about him. He's okay.
I know, but I say, hey, do you want to watch the Vikings game? Oh, okay. So he'll sit there for a couple minutes, but then he'll want to go put together a puzzle or play with the whatever. So he didn't want to sit there and watch.
Don't blame him.
Yeah, and then that's totally
Probably
fine.
play with his dolls a little bit and put
he must be a girl. I guess we got to transition.
Maybe.
No, but I guess my point was.
Sorry, that was too far.
But he does love to watch highlights.
Yeah.
Like, I want to say these great catches from the week. Like, he loves watching that stuff, but sitting down to watch an actual football game.
Correct me if I'm not wrong on the stat. The average football game only has 12 minutes of actual action.
You know what? So interesting you mentioned that. So we had, because I wanted, you're going to rip me.
I won't.
So Sunday, the Vikings played early.
They did.
My oldest son and I, we watched most of the Vikings game, and then he wanted to watch the Bills game. And so because the Bills weren't on the so I have Fubo.
Okay. And do you have Red Zone then or no?
So I have another website that I can use.
Okay.
Totally legal.
Yeah.
And I can watch any game I want. But
I bet you anything it's not a .com. It ends with a .us or .zin. Like
don't tell anybody that you have this.
What's China's? Okay.
But I have to pull up that game on my laptop. So I have him sitting on the couch next to me, so we can both watch it on the laptop as I have the Twins game on the regular TV. Okay. And I was watching the difference between a pitch in a baseball game and an actual play in a football game. I'm like, well, there's no comparison. There's way more action in a baseball game. It's not even close.
Yeah, but it's a guy throwing a ball to another guy.
But I guess it's the sequence of actual activity that's taking place.
Yeah, but to be fair, that pitch takes, 1 second? And they throw 100 of them. So that's 100 seconds of pitching.
Okay.
Then there's some running around the base, which those guys can get
some
first base.
Some balls are put in play.
Right,
yep.
Some balls are put in play. So I bet you anything, as you tell me how great baseball is, I can look up to see how much time an actual baseball game, how much action is in an actual baseball game.
Well, and I know you wanted to bring this up, and it was mentioned literally 15 minutes after we got done recording Monday Night Sports Talk that the Twins had fired manager Rocco Baldelli. And as Patrick and I joked as we were in here recording an ad, and we found out this news after the fact. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of perks that go along with this job, getting to go to kind of cool stuff and do interesting things and talk to interesting people. Mm-hmm. Personally, for me, being able to get the uncensored Patrick Royce every Monday afternoon and let him riff about whatever is the greatest perk that I have. It's not even close.
You have a really cool relationship with Pat.
Oh, God.
Right? I listen to your show, right? Because it's Joe's stepping back a little bit on sports.
Yeah.
Right? So it's definitely you and Pat kind of carrying the sports mantle.
Sure.
Right? And when you guys get, I wish we could just record the pre-show. Is that part of the GL group?
You can hear a lot of that on the Garage Logic Town Council.
At the Town Council.
That's
so
probably how you're
Royce?
hearing it. Yeah.
Okay, because that is and sometimes I'm here.
I'll tell him. I've begged both of them. We should turn Monday Night Sports Talk into the uncensored version of what's really going on.
Sure.
Honest to God, Mike, I think that would be massive. Again,
can't do that though, because people are so accustomed to not hearing Joe swear.
I know,
and he's become he's just a gentleman in my mind, right?
Yes, I agree with you. But both of those two are absolute Picassos with profanity.
But the way woke nature could go, like the world of I can't believe he said that would probably.
That's at this point.
Yeah.
You're both. What do you got to lose? Who cares?
I
mean, granted, I guess Patrick does still have his column in the Star Tribune, and Joe has his column in the Pioneer Press.
Yeah, there's still
okay. I get that part of it,
guys.
But still, I think that would be the uncensored version of, let's just bring Patrick into the mix on GL. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine what that would do? Well, we'd probably all be unemployed.
Remember when you and I were doing the show and he was writing his, Patrick Royce, who was at the end of the counter, writing his, and I said, hey, is this going to bug you if we're doing the show? And he's like, I won't even notice you're here. Right? And then he would, every once in a while, throw something in where I'm like, we got to have our mics off. Because he was like, that dumb son of a bitch. It's like, oh, jeepers, creepers. He's great. I did look up while we were doing this. I can multitask.
Go ahead.
Creepers.
Yeah.
So the NFL game has approximately 11 minutes of action. An NFL game. A baseball game, however, is almost 50% more, is over 50% more at 18 minutes of action.
Wow.
So a baseball game is 1.5 times the amount of action as a football game. So that's pretty good. I would have thought a baseball game was 6 minutes.
There's a lot of downtime in the NFL.
There's a lot of, well, I mean, it's the length of the time is probably roughly the same, but the amount of action inside.
I would hate to not bring this up, but I have to get your thoughts on the Ryder Cup.
Okay, I got to ask you about Rocco though before you go.
Oh, as Pat and I talked about, I just basically said, he and I both said, well, they're doing him a favor. I mean, this franchise is nosediving right now.
Okay, but let me ask you this. So, Rocco's young.
44.
44 years old. So he's your age or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What do you do when you're the coach, the manager, not coach, excuse me, the manager of the Minnesota Twins? You've attained a very, very high level.
Yep.
Right? You're at very high level. All of a sudden, mid-season, the team sells everybody out.
Yep.
Right? You know it's going to be a crap season. End of the season, they come up to you and said, hey, Rocco, thank you for your 7 years. I think it was 7 years, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have to go home and turn to your wife and say, okay, well, that was a great run. How much did he make? Did Rocco make a couple $1 million a year, $5 million a year?
I would say something like that, yeah.
Is that, okay, I'll look it up. I'll see if it's out there. What do you say with your wife? And are you going to go to Tampa Bay?
Well, that's where he came from.
Will he be another manager of a baseball?
Here's what Rocco's going to do. At least let's just say I was Rocco.
Okay.
I believe they just had, they have a few young kids. In fact, I think he might have even had twins, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And so he has a nice young family, beautiful wife, and you say, all right, they're giving me this check to walk away and not work. I'm going to take this entire next calendar year, and all I want to do is be a dad. Mm-hmm. And then I want to reset. I want to recharge. We obviously don't need the money. You can go do whatever you'd like to do. While
she was a nurse. She might need a nursing job.
But just saying, hey, go explore whatever you'd like to explore. And you know what? I'll recharge, and then maybe I'll get another gig, doing whatever, whether it's being a manager, working in a front office, whatever. And then say, where would you like to live? Do you want to stay here in the Twin Cities? Do you want to explore another part of the country? Do you want to go live in Spain? I have no idea, but he's going to be just fine, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to be just fine. You know why?
He's made how much?
I was feeling bad for this guy. I was
Mike,
actually
baseball managers make good money.
This good? Guess what his 3-year contract from 2023 to 2025 paid him annually?
And by the way, they picked up his option for 2026. I'm going to guess $6 million.
$10 million a year.
Yep.
And he ran that turd ship into the ground, and he's making $10 million a year.
Well, let's rephrase that, though, because the front office is the one that decided to get rid of everybody.
Very true. I can't even get mad at the guy. He probably made almost $50 million with the Twins.
Yeah, easily.
Think of that reverse.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying he's going to be just fine.
He is going to be just fine, but
in fact, he might even just say, wherever we set up, Nashville, Phoenix, whatever, wherever they set up shop, he's just going to say, wherever my kids are going to go to school, I am now going to be the head baseball coach, and I'm just going to, and I'm done.
Hopefully with his $50 million, I'm making that up, $30 million in the last 3 years, we know is real, right?
Yep.
So he has $15 million from that after taxes.
Sure.
You can probably make it on 15.
I'm going to guess so, yeah.
I mean, hey, we're talking about inflation. Inflation could kill that, make it worth 7.5 real quick. But he's got a lot of money. You can't be done at 44 years old.
No, you got to have something else.
He's got to become another manager to another team.
Well, you could open up your own academy and start charging people.
You're never going to make anything near that.
No, but what you can do is just say, okay, I'm going to do private lessons or whatever, start my own company.
Yeah, but how much you want to do that for?
And then you work on your own terms.
Or you go find another management position and make another $10 million for 1 year.
Right.
Do it for 1 month. You'd
Right.
make more than running your own academy.
All right.
I am just, let me just say to this guy, congratulations. You had a great run. I'm super proud of you. I'm sad it ended because I think you were probably a fine gentleman, but take your $50 million and go to another team.
All right. I need your thoughts on the Ryder Cup.
I think it was a disgraceful. I think we
I
should
almost,
maybe not do it
wanted
anymore.
to start with this because I thought the same thing. And throwing the beer at Rory McIlroy's wife.
That's just bullshit.
The problem is they've encouraged this type of behavior. And I don't know how much time you spent out at Hazeltine when the Ryder Cup was here in Chaska. Oh, you didn't at all?
No, I just couldn't do it. I was busy that whole time.
Okay.
I know that sounds strange.
So Pat and I did shows out there during that time. In fact, I think we had to cancel the beer show because I was out there one of the days. In any event, I remember being out there going, everyone here is bleeping wasted.
Sure.
To the point where, so they had the media set up where the European reporters were on one like split level, and then the American reporters were here. And most of the shows that did, or most of the people that did their radio shows from there were all from around this area. There was a couple of guys that Pat knew that were from New York, and there was a couple of guys that were from somewhere on the West Coast. I don't remember. But in any event, the area where they served the press lunch and dinner every day, it was actually a very cool setup. But then the second it hit 6 o'clock, that place instantly turned into a bar
Okay.
for the reporters.
Sure.
And all of us were kind of, well, that's kind of different. And Scott Korzanowski and I, we said, well, let's just go have a quick beer. We're done for the day. And because Scott wanted to go watch a little golf, and I was just going to walk the course with them because I had never attended a pro golf event before in my life. And so this is like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and we're trying to walk back to our cars. And I'm talking people passed out left and right. And I'm thinking, this is insane. And again, it's coming back here, and I think, 2030, I think it is.
So not 2029, was it? I thought.
I can't remember.
It's some weird number like that. Okay, let me just say something. America, we can do better, right?
Yeah.
We can just do better. We don't have to be the a-holes screaming at somebody where one of the players has to turn around, a player that we love every single day,
Right.
turn around and say, hey, shut the F up,
Right.
This is there. And we did it. We started it with the waste management. Waste
Yes.
Management Open.
Yes.
Where the players are saying, hey, come on, I want to hear it. It's like, no, you don't. Let's have it be a gentleman's game. But here's the irony for you, Reavers. All those European players beat America, right?
Right.
They beat America and they beat us pretty big. Yet very, very few of them permanently live in Europe. Let me give you Luke Donald, Florida. Rory, Florida. Justin Rose, Florida and the Bahamas. Shane Lowry, Florida. Aberg, Florida. Fitzpatrick, Florida. Hatton, Florida. Seep Straka, Alabama. Rahm, Arizona. Victor Hovland, Oklahoma. But Tommy Fleetwood lives in Dubai, right? Probably for tax purposes.
Or is he part of Live?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, Tommy Fleetwood. I don't know if he's lived. But they don't live in Europe.
Right.
So we're going to take them. So America beat America.
Right. I have a quick question.
Yeah.
You're just listening off the states.
Yeah.
I didn't hear California.
Yeah, nothing. No one in California.
I didn't hear Minnesota.
No.
I didn't hear Illinois.
No.
You didn't mention New York.
I did
you?
not mention New York.
Geez, I'm going to guess that's probably purely coincidental.
Well, it could be that they got to play golf all year round. Can't
warm
do that,
weather.
right?
Yeah,
warm
I'm
weather.
sure.
Yeah, but I do find that kind of so. Even though we lost to people that had you could say I was European. My ancestors came from Europe, but I reside in the United States. These guys, all except for a couple of them, reside in the United States. So what I want to do is sue the Ryder Cup to say it's not Europeans playing the Americans. It's Americans. Most of these guys went to college in America. They've been here the majority of their life.
Right.
When do you consider yourself an American? When do we have to take you off that European team?
And the other thing that was different too about the Ryder Cup setup, at least the one I experienced in Chaska, it was so weird because all of the bathrooms were also situated along that far wall. And so you were American when you walked into the bathroom and you were American when you walked out of the bathroom. But when you were in the bathroom, European.
Okay, that was good. I like that. See, you did it. You did it, and you worked it right in the system. My joke, you ready?
Please.
Because this is part of the show now. People love this
This
part.
is a true story.
We should maybe have this sponsored.
Absolutely. The
Okay,
We Are Nuts joke of the day from Mike
No,
Frateloni.
let's get a different sponsor.
Okay, yeah.
And We Are Nuts is killing it.
They don't need any more help.
We need to get someone else dropping money on this. Okay, what's the difference between a well-dressed man on a bicycle and a poorly dressed man on a tricycle?
What's that?
A tire. Reavers, you are the best.
That's what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen. Dad jokes. His name is Mike Frateloni. My name is Chris Reavers. Thank you so very much for listening to the Weekly Scramble podcast. If you could do us a favor, rate and review the show wherever you happen to be listening to the show. It truly helps us out, and we appreciate each and every single one of you. We'll talk to you again next time. Until then, cheers.